Death Parade! Capitalist Death Parade! Capitalist Death Parade! Welcome to the Capitalist Death Parade with your hosts Joy Marie Mann and Josh Radio Hedge, a podcast where we discuss the dystopian hellscape of capitalism that we call home. Welcome everyone to the Capitalist Death Parade. I am Josh Radio Hedge.
And I am Joy Marie fucking Mann.
And oh my God, what a crazy fucking week. I hope you guys enjoy The End of the World. Hey, does that count as our song for this week?
It's the end of the world as we know it.
And I feel fine.
Scared.
I lied about the last part.
Yeah. Oh my fucking God. And I swear we say it every week. Like,
Yeah, right.
It's a fucking broken record. I'm just trying these backgrounds because they're fun. And this
cool.
is like one of my fun shows, so to speak. So I'm dicking around, see what I can find.
Be careful what you put up. Oh, that's the old episode. Put up the new one.
Oh yeah. So anyway, so while I dick around, all right, I'm going with dinos.
Great.
Because they're freaking amazing. So anyway, so first I did want to talk about my show last night, which was fucking surreal, and I am still on cloud nine. Jack Lawrence, who is the host and producer of 1 Minute Remaining, which is the number one true crime podcast with over 6 million downloads. He came on my show last night because I somehow got lucky enough to have someone like that even care enough to join me. We have a mutual friend, Temujin Kensu, who is, if you've watched my show, you know that he is on his 38th year in prison, despite being proven innocent. And, we're both friends with him, and I wanted to have him on and talk about it as a fellow journalist who's interviewed him and then also afterwards become friends with him and fought for him. So it was fucking amazing. It was so wonderful. I definitely suggest you check it out. It was last night. So it is on my YouTube. It was just great. And then Temujin did call in from prison while we were on the air, so that was exciting as well. But yeah, check it out. His story is like it's insane. So yes, so please check that out. Please check out. I also had Temujin back on my show from prison last week. If anyone has a few extra dollars, I have a buy me a coffee. And what I am trying to save money for or raise money for is to go out and see Temujin. As I said, he's been wrongly incarcerated for 38 years. He is unfortunately very sick. They stopped giving him his chemo. They stopped giving him his medications. He goes out in the prison yard just to get fucking like dandelion and just to try and get some vitamins. And he's not in great shape, and he's in his 60s, and I need to go see him. So, and plus, not just to give him hugs and visit with him, but I can also interview him in person, which would be just incredible. So yes, so I will have to take 3 trains, one through the night, 4 buses, 2 Ubers or cabs, just to get there, and then do it again on the way back. So it's going to be quite the trip, but it's to see him, and he's sick, so I want to go sooner than later. But yeah, if you have a few bucks, I have a buy me a coffee. Jack Lawrence of the show, who I had on last night, I recommended it at the end, and before we even got off the air, I had an email popped up that he donated.
Oh, that's
So
sweet.
it was very touching because, here's this podcast host with over 6 million fucking downloads. And I'm just like this broke blind bitch who, like, just gets like so fucking pissed about shit. And then, like, I get this notification, and it just kind of just was like, wow. Like, so it just warmed my heart that, like, and his message said, "Give Temujin a big hug for me." And I was like tearing up, and I was like, I I've been talking to Temujin for over 4 years, and he always says, "When you coming to see me? When you coming to see me?" I am in Pennsylvania, he's in Michigan. We are not close.
Yeah.
But we talk on the phone a lot and stuff like that. But it's not the same. I need to
Yeah.
see my buddy.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed, sooner rather than later. But anyway, so yeah, we have some crazy shit to talk about as usual. Josh, why don't you start with the wonderful debate?
All right, so we're diving into the debate. First, I'm just going to go ahead and make a disclosure. I may or may not have done some psychedelics and watched the debate. I think that this
So
gave me
you have
special.
a death wish. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Well, I'm saying I saw death come out of the television screen and it took a swipe at me. And needless to say, I definitely picked up the vibe that maybe most folks weren't seeing. So I got some extra vibes for you tonight. I think I want to call this segment Fear and Loathing while watching the CBS vice presidential debate.
So I actually did not get to see it because I was on the air with Jack.
Oh,
However, before our show, I did watch about 45 minutes of it, and my brain hurts
yeah.
if I have any brain left.
Yeah. So it was absolute slog, true torment. Honestly, like from the very beginning, neither person was telling the truth. Neither person was addressing any of the questions. At no point did the moderators seem to really push back. If they did, it was a single time, but they still never managed to get an answer out of pretty much either of them. Excuse me. But yeah, I think what set me off right from the beginning was, well, A, the walls were melting slightly, but B, immediately they both dodged Israel and their responsibility. Like, did you notice that Tim Walz didn't even say the word Palestinian?
Yes.
My God, man, it's what is going on?
Acknowledging it is a mistake because he's not supposed to acknowledge it. If he says that word, we're all going to be like, you said Palestine and you didn't say arms embargo or something like that. So it's better he doesn't say it.
I just think that yeah, if he doesn't speak the words, he hopes that you don't remember that you want that we want those words.
Yeah,
By the way,
totally.
actual freaking study, or not a study, a poll here in March, the Center for Economic and Policy Research published a survey showing that 52% of Americans wanted to force a ceasefire by stopping weapon shipments to Israel. That was
When
in
was that?
March. That was in March.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I was going to
That's
say, because it's way more now.
way, yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. Like, we've had a majority support in America to end these shipments for 6 solid months now, but we don't have a representative government.
And also,
So
I digress a little, but people need to stop saying ceasefire. We are fucking beyond that. That is beyond
yeah,
breadcrumbs. And when we
true.
say ceasefire, we mean permanent and immediate.
Yes,
None of this
obviously.
fucking incremental blah blah blah. Fuck that shit. No. Arms embargo now. That's what we want to begin with.
Not me. I want that Kamala Harris 4-week ceasefire where she's like, "We need a ceasefire." Everybody goes, "Yay!" And then she goes,
Yes,
"For 4 weeks."
Queen.
For 4 weeks. It's like, screw you. That's not a ceasefire. What even is this? Like they just keep redefining everything. I hate the warfare on our minds. Like that's what this feels like. Like they're literally doing war on our minds, changing the most minute meanings of words just to fuck us.
Without any lube.
Well, that's because it all ended up at Diddy's. Anyway, I noticed throughout the debate, JD Vance kept saying these words over and over and over like a creepy motto: peace through strength.
Yes.
I had it just pop into my head though. It felt real Nazi. I know that he's not saying it like while having a little square mustache, but it really gives that vibe. You know what I mean?
I
Like
don't
some,
see. I didn't really
it's
get
so
that.
authoritarian. It's so authoritarian. Like you can't have peace without like violence. Like that's
Right.
such a
It's certainly a oxymoron. But
yeah.
what I did notice is Tim Balls said fickle 4 times within a 5-minute period.
Oh yeah,
Fickle.
fickle.
I was like, shut up, dickle. Like, I just kept thinking, you're a dickle. Shut the fuck up.
Wait,
Because
what
I'm
did it? Wait,
mature and shit.
no, he's a knuckle. That's what he called himself in the debate after he
A
like completely
knuckle?
bombed an answer. No, he called himself a knucklehead after he bombed an
Oh
answer, and
my.
he's just like, "Oh, I'm not good at debate. I'm a knucklehead." Arr.
Oh, gee golly, shucks. Son of a gun.
I'm so gosh darn charming as I suck at the one thing that I had to do, which was come up here and talk.
Oh my god, I don't care. Like, oh my fucking god. Vance, in the 45 minutes I saw, was a million times more vice presidential. I don't give a fuck what you say. He was well spoken. He was calm. He is a piece of utter fucking steaming trash. But
Yeah.
as far as, you know, uh, optics and language and pronunciation and being smooth and stuff, he was I mean, he was far superior.
Well, to a point, I will agree that if I were to like rate the score, I'm thinking JD Vance won it by a hair. They both weren't that great in my opinion. I have to point out, did you see the part where he admitted that they need to do better with women and abortion? What was the wording that he used? I think I wrote it down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like such a wild way of putting it. I'm just trying to remember the way I wrote it down here. Well, there
Yeah,
we go.
Trump reamed him out for that one.
Yeah, so he says Americans don't trust Republicans on the topic of abortion. And it's like, Jesus, dude, don't tell your base that they don't trust you guys to make the right choices on this, since this is the number one issue that seems to be lifting up the other side. And then he follows up in the next question and he reminds the audience that his own state voted for the bill to protect abortion rights against his wishes. Why would you bring this up? I just don't see the strategy. It didn't feel like if you want to mea culpa and seek their forgiveness or whatever, I don't know why you're doing it here and now in the middle of this debate. I thought that was
No,
kind of
it's very much so. Like, I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm like, so like, I'm one of your buddies. I can admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong, and now we are comrades.
No, for sure, for sure. I noticed that. That's why I put it in the graphic. All the hearts between Vance and Walls. They seem to really, really have a kinship for one another. They kept
Oh
talking
my
about how
God.
much they
I could
agree
not.
on so many
They
things.
were literally 2 seconds from banging on that
I,
stage.
it's
Like,
true. It's true.
oh
I
my
saw them.
God. I do agree with him on this. I do agree with him on that. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. You said it great. Oh, like, dude, you are literally proving the fact that Dems and Republicans are this fucking
Yeah,
same.
the same thing. Yeah, that's the exact vibe I was getting as they I fucked one another. I was just like, man, what is this? Like, this is not. There's no representation for me, no representation for my point of view, and my point of view is not radical. I just want people housed, and I'd like bombs not being dropped on kids. I'm not radical.
It's not a radical idea.
Oh my
Actually,
god.
I was kind of fantasizing about Butch Ware being on that debate stage because they would
Oh
have
my
both been
god.
crying in the fucking fetal position and it would have been beautiful.
Oh, dude, he would have gone off. They wouldn't have needed to mute his mic. He would have just kept going. You could pick it up on
No,
the lapel mics of the moderators.
it would have
Man, he
been
could.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. I remember back in the day when our Green Party folks were just trying to get in the debates and they got chained to folding chairs for 8 hours.
Yeah, that was when Jill was arrested for the first
Yeah,
time.
her and Sherry. Yeah, that's so crazy. Sherry Hunkley. Yeah, that was wild, wild stuff. All right, so I have to bring
Oh,
up the
speaking
next. Oh,
of, I
go ahead.
digress. But you hear here first, folks. I will be interviewing Leonard Peltier's lawyer.
Whoa.
Yes, speaking of her, as you guys know, they ran together. Yeah, so that's coming up probably next week.
That's awesome. That's super awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to bring up the next awful thing. So again, during my my ritualistic spiritual political trip, they started mentioning immigration, and things got real dark. Like I'm pretty sure, like a giant snake-eyed soul-sucking worm came out of the television screen. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. It happened right around the time that the debate moderators gave the most soul-crushing poll I ever heard. They said a majority of Americans support mass deportations.
Yes.
When those words left her mouth, the last of my human hope and dignity also exited. And and that was it. I just couldn't believe it. It was like, is this real? A majority of Americans want mass deportations. Like we really are Nazi Germany, aren't we? Like, I don't know. That one just got me like right in the feels. So
It's insanity. It's
and
fucking
then
nuts.
Walls has the cojones to go and quote the frickin' Bible to
Oh my
defend
God.
mass deportations.
Oh my fucking God. This place has no separation of church and state. I fucking remember last year
Yeah.
when Republicans had some victory about something or other, and it was something to do with abortion. You know what? It was when they fucking turned over Roe v. Wade. That's when it was. And fucking Pelosi and all her fucking bootlickers were out on the Capitol steps singing gospel. Okay. Am I the only fucking person that remembers that? Because it was fucking
Yeah.
nuts. It was
Yeah.
disgusting. I was like, first of all, stop talking to your God, whoever the fuck it is. It doesn't belong in politics and it doesn't belong in our country when you're supposed to be like so called representing us. Like, fucking gross.
Well, I think we know who these dudes do represent, and their god is Mammon, man. He is the god of money, wealth, and power, and that is who they worship on a daily. I want to bring this up to you because, like you said, you're about church separation of church and state. I come from church. My father was a minister. I grew up in the church, and even though I'm not a believer myself, I have a different kind of perspective on all that. And when he quoted the Bible to defend mass deportation, I almost fell out of my chair. I immediately ran to my phone and looked up this verse because this is an important one. This is Leviticus 19:33. When immigrants live in your land with you, you must not cheat them. Any immigrant who lives with you must be treated as if they were one of your citizens. You must love them as yourself because you were immigrants in the land of Egypt. There it is. I mean, their own holy book says you can't mass deport these people. And then he goes and quotes that book to defend mass deportation. For me, as a guy
who was Matthew something or other.
What was it?
He quoted Matthew something or other.
I should have wrote it down. I was just I was so offended. I was just like, wow, dude, wow. Using Jesus's words to defend the most hateful act, mass deportations. Like, whatever, dude, whatever.
Yeah, and you know what, though? I'm going to give Vance, straight up. He called out the 320,000 fucking kids that are missing.
Yeah.
Because they've been separated from their fucking family. 320,000. Do y'all remember when Trump was in office and there were, oh God, I don't know, it was a couple hundred kids missing and every shit lib in the world went batshit, which is fair because, oh my God, missing children, what the fuck? So that's fair. But nobody fucking talks about these 320,000 kids. Where the fuck are they?
Where is AOC on her knees performatively
in her white
crying?
outfit?
Did you notice that as soon as Biden was president, the tears dried up? It was a miracle, really.
Yep. Her abolish ICE hat got thrown out, apparently.
And now she's yay ICE. Hooray, ICE!
ICE baby bitches.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. So I do have to say one more thing. Stop.
Collaborate and listen. ICE is back with a brand new invention. Something got a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? I don't know. Turn off the lights and flow to the extreme and rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage, wax the chump like a candle.
Right.
Stage.
We have to stop her now. But
anything left? Sorry.
I was about to hit the eject button. You were about to go flying out your roof. So I'm glad you stopped just in time.
Look, you know me. Anyone who knows me knows there is literally no way I can go X amount of minutes without being reminded of a song and busting out with it. It's just reality.
I'm in the same. I'm a human jukebox, so
You're totally a fucking karaoke dude. Of course you do.
Exactly. All right. So I have to give you one of my. This is one of my insights that I saw come through the TV screen last night during the debate. I noticed that Vance looks like a drag queen on a makeup-free day, Cabbage Patch doll, dressed up like he's playing president of the whole world. So he's a drag queen on makeup-free day, Cabbage Patch doll.
Oh my.
I don't know. It's the eyes. It's the cat eyes. I don't know if he adds any kind of eyeliner, but it sure looks like he does because maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know.
Wow. Now I really gotta. Well, I am blind, but I'm gonna try to see that.
There you go. You gotta give a good zoom on that one because it's worth it. Checking out his weird eyeliner. I don't know what it's about.
Oh, he had eyeliner?
I'm pretty sure. I think everybody in the memes right now, they're accentuating it to make it look even more noticeable because it's funny. But he's definitely wearing eyeliner. He's got to be, right? I mean, I don't know,
but eyeliner on a dude's hot. I'm not saying he is because I didn't notice it, and trust me, he's not. But I dig some eyeliner on some dudes though.
Yeah, but if you like Cabbage Patch dolls with eyeliner, he's your doll. All right.
Wow.
All right.
You
I
know
have to.
what? This is why doing live shows is fucking dangerous, okay?
Yeah.
Because now someone can clip this shit and be like, yo, Joy Marie Mann was like, yeah, JD Vance is hot. He's sexy.
Yeah. They're going to do that to you. And by trolls, you probably mean me. And yes, I will.
Admitting it's the first step.
There we go. All right, so I got to bring up one of the things that absolutely gutted me during a segment where, again, neither candidate was talking about people's right to healthcare that doesn't leave them bankrupt and destitute. Well, Walz was defending that for-profit healthcare system, and then here's the peak evidence that we are all living in hell right now. That motherfucker got up there and he bragged about being the party of Dick Cheney and Taylor Swift.
He said, what?
He said that we are a coalition and we are the party of Dick Cheney and Taylor Swift.
Okay, so 2 billionaires. Okay, cool. So
yeah,
and
one who's the worst
fucking-
billionaire and one who's like supposedly the nicest billionaire. And it's like, okay, that's great.
She has
Wow.
no talent. Her songs are fucking stupid. She's annoying as hell. Her fucking fans are just literally make me want to punch a wall. She is a tart. She's what they call a tart. When we grew up in the 80s, that's what they would say about like girl singers who are just insipid and have no talent. Tart.
Yeah.
That's what she is. So
I would like to add to the Swifties that may be listening that I think she's just the best. Please don't crucify me.
She's the best at failed relationships. She's the one that I see that meme that's like, oh, we're supposed to believe someone's endorsement who writes songs about like every failed relationship she's ever had.
No, she's made a lot of really great bad decisions, and I'm sure one day she'll write a song about how sad she is that she supported a genocide. But hey, that'll make for a great album.
She is not that deep. People are like, oh my God, this is amazing because now, obviously Kamala is going to win because Taylor Swift. And I'm like, yeah, most of her fans are fucking 12, you dumbass. They can't even vote.
Well, other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I picked up from the debate that was very noteworthy. I did note at one point, Walz said something about experiencing joy again, and my brain, the first thing that came to my brain was, oh, they said the word. Do a shot of radiator fluid. Like, yay!
Yo. I am going to sue them. Stop using my name. Oh my God, it's so gross.
We should have like a live drinking game of a debate. Oh wait, there are no more debates because we don't care about democracy in America. I forgot. But I was thinking it'd be fun, like every time somebody says something about I grew up in a middle class blah blah blah, take a shot. Every time somebody doesn't answer a question and says something else entirely, take a shot.
Oh my God. Seriously. I will be drunk in like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Every time Kamala uses more than 20 words to finish like a single sentence that doesn't actually describe anything that she's talking about. So that'll be a lot of shots.
Shot. Everybody. You came in a little too early, but I'll forgive it. So one of the other things I noticed about the debate that I thought was actually kind of hilarious, but not really, when they the debate moderator asked Tim Walz about being in Tiananmen Square in April, while it was, while the riots and everything were happening, and he's like, so I misspoke. Well, at first he's like, "Look, I grew up in a middle class area." Like,
Just take a shot.
oh my god. Your girl nonstop. Now JD Vance said it over and over again. I'm just like, oh my god. I don't give a fuck. What about the poor class? Like, what
I
about
think
the
that's
lower class?
I think that's just the way that the brain worms speak when they try to communicate out of their human host body mouths. So I think that's why they all sound exactly the same when they say that shit.
One of us. One of us. Like, oh my god, you're
Evil
so
gobble.
fucking relatable, middle class. Awesome. But
Yeah.
the moderator actually did, she asked him about that and said, the local newspapers where he's governor said that that's not correct. He was not out of the country then. He did not attend. He did not go there until months later. And he's like, I misspoke after giving the fucking runaround about, his community and how he loves it and shit.
Yeah.
Like, now, and she's like, okay, but the question was, I was like, okay, well, she actually kind of pushed back a little. So that was one thing that kind of surprised me. I thought for sure she was just gonna keep checking Vance. But yeah, I mean, it's like, he also lied about some other shit. Not, I don't think they talked about it last night, but like being a head coach somewhere he wasn't, and things
Yeah.
like that. It's like, do you realize you live in the time of the interwebs? Like, why the fuck would you lie about, and stupid shit too?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then, the Tiananmen Square, like, I immediately thought, like, okay, so like, people are cool with Biden saying that he got arrested with fucking Nelson Mandela.
Yeah. And don't forget, they're cool with Trump saying that he took fire in his fucking helicopter or some shit.
No,
Uh,
Hillary was ducked under Bosnian sniper fire.
Yeah, exactly. All these ridiculous stories, like what I noticed, I'm gonna like psychologically depants walls for a moment here, but I was noticing he was really cagey. Like the correct response in a debate when you get cornered with this kind of a question is just to be like, hey, it was a long time ago, and I was there very near that time. I got a little, mistaken, and thank you. That's it. You make a little tiny apology and a tiny little bow, and you're good. But he didn't do that. He got really, really cagey. And so my inner psychologist started thinking about it. And I'm like, I feel like this guy has been telling this lie for a long time. And though he is a politician and though he is a liar, I don't think he's good at it yet. And he genuinely was cagey because he felt bad, because this is one of the old lies. This is the one that he's been telling people since he was a teacher. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so he's
He
up there
probably
on
believed
stage.
it himself because he said it so
Yeah.
much.
And you could see him squirming, and I'm like, dude, wow, how are you not good at lying? Like, that's what got me. It's like, this is your job, is to go up here and lie to these people's faces, and you are squirming right now. Just, yeah, I don't know.
Dude, do you remember when what the fuck's his name? Cory Booker was running in 2019, and
Yeah.
it came out about T-Bone. Do you remember T-Bone? Before
T-Bone.
Corn Pop, there was T-Bone. T-Bone was this guy, quote unquote, that Cory Booker always went around talking about in his interviews and stuff. He was supposedly this dude who was a gang member and real violent and everything, and Cory Booker changed his life around and blah blah blah. And then eventually after years it caught up to him that it was a lie, and he goes, well, okay, there was no T-Bone, but he was kind of like a conglomeration of a bunch of people I met along the way. Like, what?
You see,
Dude.
Joy, sometimes the truth is just the friends you made along the way.
Accurate. I think I have a needle point of that up my ass.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. So, do you have anything else you want to say about the debate?
I don't think so. I think, well, the one thing that I found interesting was that apparently even some of the Dems, not like uh known Dems or something, but I'm talking about like in polls and stuff, even some of the Dems are like very disappointed in Walz.
Yeah.
And as far as the ratings, I usually don't go by polls because they're how many people did you ask? What's their age? Where do they live? Like all that is
Yeah.
very relative, and a lot of times they don't share that. But the polls are showing that Vance did win, and I think part of that reason is, like I said, his demeanor was more vice presidential. It was like at times Waltz was like a fucking blubbering dumbass.
No,
So
he really was. I was kind of shocked. I thought that he was going to be more polished. I mean, just because of how like super polished Kamala was at the last debate. I mean, she really showed that she could like debate, and she clearly did the footwork to get there. So he, on the other hand, man, he looked like he overstudied. That's kind of what I was getting of a vibe, that he had just like been debate prep cramming for so long that he was just a little fried. I don't know.
I just love how they were like, and just so everyone knows, they did not see the questions ahead of time. And I was like, their asses did that disclaimer because of when Donna Brashil gave that shit to Hillary.
Yep, yep. And it's funny because they used that at the last debate with Trump and Kamala, and like they're immediately like, no, this is debunked because we didn't give them the questions. You're just making shit up. But the thing is, they could just point to the last time and be like, look, here's them getting caught doing literally what we're saying they're doing now, and that just people are going to assume, yeah, they probably did it again.
But I
Like,
mean, honestly, like as far as like last night's goes, like you literally already know the questions. You know they're going to be talking about Iran. You know they're going to be talking about Israel. You know they're going to be talking about environment. You know they're going to be talking about working class. You know they're going to be talking about immigrants. You know they're going to be talking about abortion. Like you already know this shit.
yeah.
So I'm not sure how advantageous it would be to, know the actual questions ahead of time. Um, but I mean, it is, fucked up. But
I mean, Tim Walz definitely looked like he was caught off guard at his getting caught for the fake valor of being there during a historical event thing. It's like, oops, you definitely
wouldn't it
stepped
be
in that one.
delicious if we like somehow got an internship at like CNN or some shit, and then like when they did a debate, we just switch the cue cards
Yeah,
for
right.
the questions or something like, why are you such a douche canoe? Wait, I didn't write that. What is this?
It was the cue card person, Joy something something.
And then I'll be already up the street.
I want to mention this before we move on. When in during the first question, when they were asked if they would support Israel preemptively striking Iran, which I thought was just such a dark what's it called, predictive programming. It felt like we're
Yeah.
planning on this, like as we're heading there. Well,
They
anyways, they
came
asked
up with
this
that question 6 weeks ago.
exactly. Well, they asked this question to both of them. Neither of them answer it. And something occurred to me at one point during Walls's answer. He said these words. He said, the expansion
Yep.
of Israel is an absolute necessity for the United States. Now, did he
Yep.
misspeak? Or did he literally just cheerlead more settler colonialism and the expansion of this theft and of this like insane like global war crime?
I noticed that immediately, and and I give no one the, benefit of the doubt ever for anything, especially politicians. And I really wrestled with this, and I thought, myself, when I say stupid shit, usually I know after I said it, and I'm like, ah. And he didn't correct himself. So I'm thinking, like, he didn't qualify it. He didn't say, I meant the expansion of aid. I meant the expansion of the IDF. He literally said nothing except expansion of Israel. I take that, given the fact that he is against the arms embargo, that the fact that he can't even, be bothered to say the word Palestine, and the fact that they are absolute violent warmonger Zionists, to mean
Yeah.
that he absolutely was saying, let's expand Israel.
Oh, that's so evil. Like, what the hell? You've got a majority of your voters, a majority of all voters saying, please, please, please stop. Please. And he's like, no, 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 no. Expand.
Yep.
I mean, and they're the good guys, Joy. They're the good guys.
Hold on. I have to throw up a little.
I know. I already did in my mouth. Oh.
No, you threw up somewhere else. What do you mean? You threw up in your mouth? What the hell? That's so fucking weird.
Well, sometimes you just don't want to let it go. Sometimes you just want to hold on to it.
Like, there should be like a tally mark system. Like, every time you physically, legitimately feel like you're going to barf from something
Oh,
a
God.
politician says.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we can make a website. What could it be, like politicalbarfs.com? Oh my God. I am suffering from lack of sleep and working a very long day, unloading trucks, and my brain is extra, even more so than usual. But yeah, I don't know. And then, to speak on Iran, like, so New York Times trash came out today with an opinion piece, and it said Brett Stevens. I literally thought it said
You thought it said what?
beat beat
What?
my blindness cracks me up sometimes because I was like, beat Stevens? I'm trying to read it like on air, like, beat Stevens. What the fuck is beat Stevens? Anyway, so that was an opinion piece from today. And it says, actually, we absolutely do need to escalate in Iran.
Oh.
That's literally a fucking title of this article. So every time I fucking see this shit online about like Iran and Lebanon, I think of that meme that says, well, if it isn't the consequences of our own actions.
Yeah.
Because look, this show's going to get taken down, but oh well. Palestine has sat there for a year. They don't even
Yeah.
have a fucking army. And now people are stepping up and saying, you know what? Too fucking much. And they are having their back. But these people are allowed to defend themselves, right? Or is that only fucking Israel?
We saw the leader of Hezbollah, who was assassinated in a public housing building full of other families. But anyways, that guy that was killed, he absolutely oops, I'm losing my train of thought. Save me. I fell off the back of the train.
Well, I will say this about that. That means we should, think about Netanyahu.
Yeah, I have been getting this vibe, especially after Iran attacked, that like basically the U.S. and Israel are Thelma and Louising the entire planet against the will of all life. Like they're doing it. They're like hands together. They're holding on to the steering wheel and they're holding on to each other, and they driving off that cliff. And I'm just like, wow, like what are we getting from Israel that is
I
going
think
to
it's
make it worth
important
all
that,
of the American lives we're going to lose when we put soldiers into this?
and I think it's important that people recognize and that we keep pointing out the fact that the US and Israel are the reason World War III is literally starting.
Yeah,
When Israel started attacking Palestine, well, 76 years ago, but well, for the sake of the argument I'm making, we'll say October 8th, when they started going after Palestine hardcore. They then put a huge target on their back. The entire world started hating them more and more and more for a year. And the reason that they have been able to do this shit is because of the United States that aren't so united, because of our money and our weapons. That is why this has happened.
yeah,
So, if our money was not given to Israel, our weapons were not given to Israel, this would not be happening in Palestine, and it would have stopped from happening months ago. Therefore, Lebanon does not get as mad. Therefore, Iran does not get as mad, and
yeah.
so on. This is nobody's fault but the US and Israel. That's it.
Yeah, and I wanted to jump back into my previous thought on the that leader of Hezbollah. They assassinated him, and then Israeli official in the Knesset says that they assassinated him because he wouldn't accept any ceasefire between them and Israel unless they stopped their attack on Gaza. And they said that that was so untenable that they had no other choice but to assassinate him because he was calling for peace. That he was trying to use, like, again, what leverage and what weaponry they have to try to stop a literal genocide that's happening. Again, I don't want anybody bombed by anybody's bombs on either side. But at the end of the day, they were trying to get Israel to stop slaughtering these people. And they said, well, that's not an acceptable offer. We can't stop slaughtering them. So we'll slaughter you now for trying to stop us from slaughtering.
Oh my God.
And it's
You
not
know,
just them. I mean, you heard it's like there have been like strikes in Syria, Yemen,
yeah.
West Bank. I mean, like it's basically everywhere and at any moment, like
Frederick
literally while we're
Brown
having this
country.
live thing, Israel might be bombing Iran right now. We don't know.
I'm very scared because my best
Yeah.
friend is from Iran, and sometimes it's days for her to get a hold of her parents, and I'm not going to say where they live, but it's certainly in not in an area that very much concerns me, as far as Target goes, and it's scary because
Yeah.
they're great people, they're awesome, but these, every country they are bombing, Israel's bombing, are brown people. Like, and people are like, oh, this isn't about racism. Are you fucking serious? Like, are you fucking serious right now?
Well, I mean, I think Israel should have a right to defend itself by murdering literally tens of thousands of children. I don't know why they have to murder literally tens of thousands of children to defend themselves, but that's what they're telling me. So I got to believe them. Oh, I also work for the State Department now.
Dude, if you say anything otherwise, you are so anti-Semitic. Ooh, oh, Palestinians are Semites? What? Where'd you get
I
that
know.
shit?
Oops.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. No way.
But yeah, I mean, I am in shock that nothing, this is going to get me in trouble, that Netanyahu is still sitting pretty. I am very much in shock because people in his own country fucking hate him. There are literally like almost 1 million protesters nonstop for weeks.
Is there no like legislative path to kicking this dude the F out?
No. And the issue, furthermore, is that, you know, the election was due, but he will not stop this because if he does, then the election will happen. He'll be voted out in a fucking heartbeat. Like, even the prior prime minister has been coming out against him for months, saying this shit needs to end.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. I hate to say shit like this out loud because I don't want to upset anyone, but I'm probably not alone. I don't know a time when this can end. I don't.
Yeah. Well, it's like they're on board, you know, aren't they? To take this to the very end, and that's like the worst part of all is like they claim during the debate that Iran is maybe a few weeks from having functional nuclear weapons, and it's like great, and we know Israel already has nuclear weapons. Like we are like so on the cusp of such absolute like atrocity, and for whatever reason, like that, I think it's what made me so angry during the debate is Walz kept talking about we need more of the same steady leadership. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? We are careening into the end of existence. And he's like, we need more of this steady. It's like, dude, no, we're going the wrong direction. It's obvious we're going the wrong direction.
You know, it's so easy for them to say because, you know, up until this point, nobody's done shit to us.
Yeah.
We're, as Claire Daly says, America is the world's bully. And that is the truth. We're the ones that have, you know, military stations all over the fucking universe and permanent ones at that. I mean, do those people want us there? Fuck no. Of course not.
Yeah.
So fucking maddening.
It's absolutely atrocious that we've allowed, and I've been thinking about this a lot. Just this is the epoch of crime is genocide. It's the one that we said can never happen again. We set up all these rules so that we'd never see this kind of horror again. We built our dang law system around this being the pinnacle of evil, and for whatever reason, we are now full on board with it. And if you even question, they can't even call it genocide. Did you notice that? They can't even call it genocide. They probably never will. This will be something they'll deny. And even like 50 years from now, when it's obvious what's happened here, there will still be, and most people will be like, oh, yeah, obviously it was a genocide. And even the news will be like, sure, it was a genocide. The U.S. won't admit to it. They'll fight it for 50 years to ever admit.
And that's why it's so important that people, you know, we tell our kids, our grandkids, nieces, nephews, everything about what actually is happening, because they're going to whitewash the fuck out of this in history classes.
They're going to try.
History classes are still a thing. I don't even know, but there is going to be more whitewashing than you have ever fucking seen in your entire life. And it is going to be, you know, just beyond egregious, because you are going to see people say, you know, that didn't happen. And I don't care if this sounds conspiracy theory. I am not like putting past people like Elon Musk doing something like just erasing Twitter. And that way, all the footage that we have of all of these atrocities that are happening to people in Palestine unless people save some on their phone or something, they're gone.
Well, that's what he did to me. He deleted me, you know. So
You're too
I wanted.
powerful, Josh.
I know. I was dangerous. I spoke out too much, too much. Oh well. But I did want to bring up a figure that I read today that really shocked me because we're talking about genocide, and I feel like we need to like constitute what is genocide. Genocide is a complete erasure. And this article I read today blew my mind. In this 1 year of war, 902 Gazan families have been wiped off of the civil registry. This means no living family members, all family members of those family lines dead.
Oh my God.
Then there is 1,364 cases where one member of the family survived, and 3,472 cases where only two members survived. And it's like when you try to like to again like stop looking at these people like they're numbers and figures and collateral damage, like whole families, you know, not just like mom, pop, and the kids. We're talking entire genetic lines ended and erased forever.
And
Like
people
that.
need to understand that Palestine is a small place, and every single Palestinian person I know in person or I've interviewed or what have you, they have nieces, nephews, cousins, aunties, uncles. The
Yeah.
family is not like a four-person thing in
No, it's not.
Palestine. Like, and it's not uncommon that people live with their entire family. So there might be 10 people in their house or what have you. So to wipe out an entire bloodline is absolute insanity.
Yeah. I like I said, I just wanted to bring that to light because I think it's important to bring home the gravity of what genocide actually means. Because I think it really does get swept under the rug by our media, and it's sad. You know,
Well,
I
that's the
want these
thing.
people to be as humanized as they humanize Ukrainians when they're unjustly killed. Like I want to hear that same like defense of human right to exist.
I also think it needs to be talked about more than when October 7th happened and we were kind of seeing exactly what, retaliatory measures we were about to witness. When that happened, there were over 50,000 pregnant Palestinian women, over 50,000. And the majority of them, obviously, it's been over 9 months. The majority of them have A, lost their baby, B, died while giving birth, C, their baby has been born and then died of lack of food and water. Or also the parent died and the baby survived and has no family.
Yeah.
So, and we are not counting those babies as numbers, and we should. They're still lives lost.
Yeah, it's kind of wild how here in America, like we consider them lives from day one, but we don't count them as lives when we take them in their mother's stomachs somewhere else. I just find the hypocrisy of this awful country just so shocking sometimes. It's just like, God, can't we be even a little good? Just a little good? A tiny bit.
Well, that's one of the things that drives me absolutely fucking mad about these pro-life people. Like, babies are being massacred. Where the fuck are you? Where
Yep.
are you?
Yep.
Oh, wait, they're brown babies. You don't fucking care.
Yeah. It's very strange how God only cares about some babies. Whatever, man. Like it just reveals the base and disgusting underbelly of it all. You know, religion and politics. It's all power. That's what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't think we came up with a grand marshal. Do you want to promote anyone to our grand marshal this week of the Capitalist Death Parade?
Well, I do want to talk about the rats quick since
Oh
it
yeah,
was
well
on the
let's do it.
promo. So the rats, basically, to sum it up, thank you, RT. Essentially, New York wants to put rats on birth control. So I think this can't be real because my mind automatically goes to like giving rats pills every day because to me that's what I'm thinking. Oh, birth control. Like, wait, you have to capture rats and give them a pill every day? I don't get it. But
I
then
figured
they're
we were
like,
going to be putting tiny little condoms on them, but is that not how this works?
okay, look, I was gonna make that joke. You stole it.
Oh shit, I stole it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just pretend it's like cheese and like stick their little like yeah.
Oh.
But they said that, what's happening is a lot of, they have such a rat and mouse problem in New York. And what people do is they leave traps with poison and stuff, and the chemicals are so toxic that it's hurting other animals and everything in the area. So they're thinking, okay, instead of killing them that way, let's just give them birth control so they stop procreating.
Yeah.
But I think this is so fucking nuts in so many ways because, like, we have no health care. And we're talking about giving rats fucking birth control.
I just want to. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just kind of astounded. And I'm like, so are all these rats like getting depot shots? Like, what is going on? How are we capturing all? There are fucking millions of rats. How are we like, so is there going to be a thing where like if you find a rat in your house, you're like, you are not allowed to kill it because like, no, you just have to like give it a little house and put it on birth control? Like, how far
Put on
does
some
this go?
sexy soul music,
Exactly.
make some squeaky mice noises that gets people in the
and
mood.
you get those little, like when you get pizzas, some places how they give you the little table in the middle of the pizza. You just get like two little chairs. Yeah.
Oh, it's like Lady and the Tramp, but instead with deadly with rabies. Yes.
Oh dear.
Well, then I think I would like to officially nominate the poor rats whose nuts no longer work in New York City as our grand marshals of this week's Capitalist Death Parade.
I am totally okay with that. I'm okay with that. Little rats, we salute you.
We salute you, little rats, and we just want you little rats to know that you guys should be proud. You now have more rights over your bodies than women in America. So congratulations, little guys.
And you know what? I don't hold it against you that the Chuck E. Cheese mouse is one of the scariest things I've ever fucking seen.
Don't you say anything about my Chuck E. Cheese or my Showbiz Pizza. I will disown you.
Oh my God, Showbiz! I forgot that place existed. Showbiz.
Do you remember my greatest memory as a child was the Rock-afire Explosion, the insane animatronic band that played at Showbiz
Oh my God, yes.
I lived for these ridiculous guys. They made my childhood, no doubt.
I'm so sorry. My condolences.
Well, there it is, folks. We've done it another week and another insane roundup of all the things in this Capitalist Death Parade. How you feeling, Joy? Are you all right?
I'm hanging in there. We have 67 listeners at this as of right now. So I need people to jump in, hit like, hit subscribe. I need those numbers to keep doing my show. So it's so important that if you're listening, please support what I do because that's the only way I can keep doing it. So thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks to Josh for joining me.
Yeah, don't forget to buy my hippie patchouli scented candles, guys. They're going great.
Oh God.
I'm kidding.
Oh, you know how I feel about patchouli.
Well, there it
Um,
is, folks. The nauseated sound of Joy passing out is our final note.
patchouli. Pesca. So also Sunday, okay, we have a huge event, the Harrisburg Palestine Coalition. We have a huge event on Sunday. It marks a year, unfortunately. And we are going to be having a huge protest, not giving too many things away, but a huge protest in Harrisburg at the governor's mansion. Our governor is none other than Josh Shapiro, who everyone learned about. And we also have Fetterman. So yeah, we figured doing it at the governor's mansion is probably the place to start the protest. So I will be going live, of course. It starts at 1. Now, I do want to give a disclaimer, though. I have been at things that I've co-organized or attended before, and they have shut off internet service or Wi-Fi. They do that in other places too. If that would happen, I'm still going to record and I'll upload it. But I am planning on going live at 1. It's going to be, we've been working on this for a few months, so we're looking forward to it. And I'll just straight up say right now, I am totally fine to get arrested. I don't give a fuck.
I'm going to say it, Joy. You said it about yourself earlier, but I'm going to say it. You're a blind, badass bitch.
Right? Dude, I have my white cane. If a fucking pig comes up to me, I can be like, oops, and knock that motherfucker right in the balls.
Right where he belongs. Blam.
Yeah, oh my God. That would make the best meme. Me just going, like with my cane in a cop's nuts, and then you just put like one of those comments like, bam, or bonk. Bonk bonk in a different way, man.
Oh man. Well, and on that last note, before we get arrested for intent to bonk cop
Oh
nuts,
shit. I'm joking about every single thing I said.
we promise all the cops' privates are safe and sound. We promise.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. All the cops that listen to my shows, I
Yes.
promise. I will
Well,
I promise. I will not be bad. Promise.
well, they play your show at the donut shops, so it's not that the cops want to listen to you; they just have to.
True. That is true. I'm so glad I have that contract.
Thank you, George Soros. Well, with that, I want to thank everybody so much for listening in. It's been another epic week of incredible news. Guys, thank you for listening to the Capitalist Death Parade. My name is Josh Radio Hedge.
And I am Joy Marie Mann.
Peace, y'all. Love one another. Oh my God, love one another.
Much love, everyone.
Peace.